Welcome to this class on Indulekha. Indulekha was written by O. Chandumenon. He was influenced by an English novel, Henrietta Temple, but he thought that it is not appropriate to write in English, so he chose to write in Malayalam to convey the social message that he wanted to convey to his readers. He stressed the need of English education. He wanted to show how educated people would behave. He emphasized on modern education, colonial modernity, employment, and self reliance. The story Intulika revolves around a Nair matrilineal Tarawad in South Malabar. The carver of this novel is Panjumenu, a tradition bound person who is very authoritative, but at the same time a bit confused towards the end of the play, end of the novel, because of the education received by the young members of the Tarawad. The hero of this novel is Madhavan, the son of his niece, and Intuleka is the heroine, his granddaughter. Both Madhavan and Indulekha are given English education. Both are portrayed as perfect hero and heroine with a number of attributes which are peculiar to a hero and heroine. Madhavan has a very remarkable academic career. He passes BL examination with first class, very handsome, very dignified. His knowledge is very deep and varied, and at the same time, Indulekam is also an eligible young lady who knows English, who knows Sanskrit, plays piano, fiddle, and even knows stitching. She is the favorite of the family, but everyone approaches her with some sort of apprehension because she is assertive and has an independent nature, and at times can be stubborn as well. And this is due to the English education given to her, according to the other members of the family. They think that it is this English education that made her assertive and independent. In a society where girls were not educated like boys, or where girls were reminded not to talk loudly or had no choice of marriage and husband, Indulekha is portrayed as a very different, very strong woman who has a distinct personality, unlike her counterparts in the novel as well. This, according to the author, Chandu Menon says, it is to show the advantages of English education given to the Nair women that he chose Indulekha as a very strong character who is independent, who makes choices. He glorifies Western culture and admires Western education for its benefit. He projects Indulekha as a role model of a heroine who is shifted from the reality because the reality of that time was entirely different. Though this prepares her for nothing, because towards the end of the novel, we find that she is not going for a job, she has no separate identity, she is still the part of the joint family and desires to be the wife of the eligible young man, Madhavan, who is employed and educated. But she is strong enough to assert and articulate and to carve out a space for herself. Though a living example of Indulekha was a high aspiration then, this portrayal of an Nair girl evolving out of a traditional Marumakatayam family was naturally the result of new education, no doubt about it. Education was perceived as a liberating force from irrelevant customs, leading to an individual assertion and discernment of what one should have. You know, we tend to we get examples from the novel. You know, when the Surya Nampuri part comes, we get to know how Indulekha behaves, and that is because of the Western education given to her. Throughout the novel, the author indicates the distinction between the educated and the uneducated. Madhavan and Indulekha, who are cousins, they were attracted to each other, and most of the members of the Tarawad they approve their marriage. But the situation takes a turn when Madhavan argues about the need to educate the young members of the family. This was taken up by the Karnavan Panchamenon as an open challenge, and he was threatened by the assertive behavior and nature of Madhavan, and he thought that Madhavan is questioning his authority. Madhavan repeatedly declares that he would take his cousin Chinnan to Madras to educate him, and this irritates Panchamenon. Till then, no younger member had displayed such defiance because it was Karnavan who decided and thought for all the family members and decided on all the matters of the family. Unless the family was rich, the Karnavan could never think of educating all the nephews and niece. Madhavan says, I am not asking for a single paisa, which our uncle has acquired through hard work. I am just asking for the ancestral property which can be used for our welfare. So, this assertion of young Madhavan is as a result of the English education that he has received. Lakshmi Kuti Amma, Lakshmi Kuti and her mother and other younger members of the family, they are not servants, but they are not given education, and they remained, though they have the same relationship as that of Intuleka in that Tarawad. They are not given education and they remain as servants devoid of English education. So Madhavan says that Karnavar should not be this, Patchumenon should not be angry or irritated when he emphasizes the fact that all the young members of the Tarwad is to be educated. The central figure of a Tarwad is the Karnavar, and his authority is unquestioned and unchallenged, and obedience and loyalty were considered the virtue at that point of time. And Madhavan's announcement and defiance disturbs the entire family atmosphere. And Karnava now takes a vow that he would never allow the marriage of Induleka and Madhavan in order to take revenge on Madhavan. The traditional pattern of behavior was questioned by Madhavan, who displays individuality, assertion, and reason. And here comes another character, that is Surya Namboodiripad, who was ceremoniously invited by this Karnavan Panchumenon to his Taravar for a Sambandham with Intuleka. So this is another concept which is being made fun of throughout the novel, this concept of Sambandham, which was prevalent at that point of time in Kerala society. This Surya Namboodiripad belonged to a very famous illam and is very rich. But there was a concern in the mind of Carnival about the English educated niece. He was apprehensive that Induleka would be stubborn and will refuse to marry. There is nothing foolish like educating the children in English. If Induleka was not given English education, she would have been a better girl. The gradual friction in the relationship of the uncle and the nephew increases as the novel progresses. This novel talks about the social practice that was prevalent then, about how the Nampudiris entered into marital relationship with Nair women, but they were not taken to the illam of the Nampudiri. And this relationship did not bear any obligation to the wife or children. And this practice of Sampandam is also questioned throughout the novel by Chandu Menon. This Carnival, Panchumenon tells Intuleka that according to the tradition, there is no need to inform her about her Sambandham. Somebody else, the Carnival will think for her. And this was well illustrated when Surya Namboodiripad decided to have this Sambandham with Kalyanikuti later on. Surya Namboodiripad entered the bedroom and the women of the house pushed Kalyanikuti to the room like an object which is being pushed into something, her wishes were not taken into consideration. And the reference here implies that the assertion of an educated Intuleka who rejected the Surya Nambudire part who came for Sambandham. Because this Intuleka was courageous, was confident, and was assertive just because she was given into English education. So this was the message that Chandu Menon wanted to give the readers. And such rejection till then was unheard of by a Nayar girl, and Kalyani Kuti, a cousin of Induleka but not educated. And she submits to the decision of the elders and did not have a choice. But at the same time, Induleka, who received this Western education, questions this and enquires whether Kalyani Kuti was informed about her sambandham. The general concept of freedom of Nayar women is to be questioned here. Most of the sambandhams, this sort of marriage, it's not actually a marriage, this sort of relationship where were actually decided by the Karanaval and without the knowledge or permission of the girl, of that woman. And such relationships were broken many times, and if the Karanaval disliked the alliance later on. So it was not up to that girl or woman to think about or to make a choice for herself. And then this particular character, Surya Nambudripad, that we find in the novel, he is portrayed both as a villain and at the same time as a comic figure, uh, like maybe to shatter this concept of this sambandhams. Chandu Menon brings in this Surya Nambudripad, who reaches the Tarawad on the invitation of Panju Menon. He at first sight itself falls in love and becomes crazy about Intuleka. His meetings with Intuleka reverse the age-old status position of Nampotiris. Nayar women had prided themselves to be the consort of Nampotiris, but here Intuleka represents the changing aspiration of Nayar women to reject such temporary license with Nampotiris. Suri's words speak of his ignorance about many of the contemporary developments in the society. Nambutris were the custodians of knowledge, but the English knowing Induleka, who is proficient in Sanskrit as well, exposed the hollowness of the superior status of Nambutris. She questions the practices and traditions of the Nambutris. She is stubborn and refuses to entertain the rich Nambutiri who comes to marry her. Though Induleka and Madhavan are to a great extent idealized by the author, these characters raise a number of questions to the contemporary society about the irrelevance of Sambandham, the authority of Karanavan, the advantages of English education. So both these characters, they are the spokespersons of the novelist, Chandu Menon. Surya Nambudripad felt insulted at the refusal by Induleka and compromises to marry Kalyanikuti, but spreads the rumor that he had married Induleka. So that is how the story progresses. And Madhavan, on his return from Madras, hears this rumor and is terribly disappointed and goes on to a tour to Calcutta and Bombay without informing the family members. And it was possible for Madhavan to reject everything and leave his place and Trivantharawad, for he had the confidence of being self-reliant. That is another theme that runs throughout. He is educated and he knows that he can manage his life all alone. He was educated, had passed the civil service examination, and was very sure that he can, he will be employed and he can manage his life all alone. But if a member of the Tarawad was not educated and not employed, he is completely dependent on the Tarawad and especially at the mercy of the Karanavar, and could never think of a choice but stay back. Govinda Panikar goes in search of Madhavan. So Govinda Panikar is Madhavan's father and finds him in Bombay. They return home to see the Karanavar, changing his mind and deciding to do a penance for his vow. Thus, Induleka and Madhavan are married at the end, and Madhavan is appointed in civil service. The world inside this Nayar Tarawad is revealed in a very it's not there is of course humor, but in a very lucid manner this their lives are described. Intuleka, this Naya girl of that period, decides that she would marry only the man she loves, not the person whom the Karnavar tells her to marry. But she does not hesitate to argue with Madhavan when he speaks ill about Nair women in general. So we see different conversations between Indulekha and Madhavan. When Madhavan says, in Malabar, women do not practice the virtue of fidelity so strictly as do the women of other countries. Why in Malabar? A woman may take a husband and cast him off as she pleases. But Indulekha counters his opinion by saying that, what did you say that? Say the Malayali women are not chaste? To say that a woman makes light of the marriage tie is tantamount to saying that she is immoral. Did you mean that all or most of women in the land of palms are immoral? Look at Europe and America, where women share equally with men the advantages of education and enlightenment and liberty. Are these women all immoral? Induleka's argument shows the views of Chandumenon, but the character is shown in such a way that a girl should be aware of what was happening beyond the local space in which she lives. So this Chandumenon, the novelist, wanted to give such a message to the generation of his time. This conversation has a direct hint at the alleged Nair family system, polygamy as well. It throws questions against men who create such situations, if at all, for women. Because Nair women were free to have a sambandham with any number of men she chooses to. In the novel, Surya Namboodiripad is portrayed as a man who is not sensible, who is ignorant and foolish at times. But at the same time, Nair characters are shown more sensible. And Chantumenon talks about man-woman relationship. With the help of this Surya Namboodiripad, the character of the Surya Namboodiripad and this concept of Sampandam, he questions the man-woman relationship, and according to him, marriage has to possess finer feelings of love and attachment. Take the relationship between Madhavan and Indulekha. But Surya Namboodiripad, who represents the Nair community with whom these Nayars had Sambandham, a relationship for centuries, is at this turning point looked down because Sambandham, for various reasons, does not warrant a permanent husband-wife relationship or father-children relationship. They're just considered as a sexual partner. And Chandu Menon actually questions this. Naya women should emerge rejecting such visiting husbands, according to him. Chandu Menon portrays this Surya Namboodiripad as a person who is ignorant and who is sometimes not in touch with the reality of a society in transition. Uh, even though he had this traditional learning, uh, had knowledge of Sanskrit, Kathakali, but he projects Indulekha and Madhavan superior to Surya Namboodiripad, and they could recite the Sanskrit slogas fluently than Surya Namboodiripad. So he wants to give this message to the readers again and again that it is this Western education, this colonial modernity that is changing the community. Surya Namboodiripad is presented from the shifting perspective of Nayars about Namboodiris. Many Namboodiris had excellence in Vedas, mathematics, astronomy, logic, etc., but their inhibition to accept new education made them remain back in the changing period, whereas Nayars, they gradually emerged successful in education and employment, thus acquiring a new cultural taste and disposition, and their behavior also changed. And Chandu Menon felt that such a portrayal is very necessary to discourage Nayars from having sambandhams or sambandham sort of relationship with Nambuthiris. And this ridicule of Namboothiri created a retaliation when a novel called Bhaskaran Namboothiripad was published then, which is believed to have been written by one Namboothiri. And he is making fun of that the message given in that novel, this Chandu Menon. The message is clear to the extent that he exhorted his community to stop entertaining Nambuthiris for sambandhams. And he was indicating the contradiction in the intellectual attainment of a Namboothiri and a Nayar girl. And this was the benefit derived from the colonial rule through education. The question of incompatibility of a Namboothiri-Nayar relationship and the observation of the growing trend of endogamy among Nayars are projected here. Another issue which come up in the novel is the erosion in the matrilineal Tharawad. So the first theme is this English education, this colonial modernity as well. And the second is this deterioration of the matrilineal Tharawad or matrilineal setup, family setup, the relationship among the members and the relationship among the members in that family setup. A Tharawad was a terrain of collective enterprise with only the Karnavar having the authority to take decisions, and he could be partial or impartial, but that had to be obeyed. Whatever he says, it has to be obeyed. And Madhavan declares that he would educate Chinnan, and this was considered as a direct challenge to him. And so Madhavan was given this Western education. So he had he was courageous and had the confidence and guts to challenge the Karnavan. This Madhavan raised this issue of partiality of Karnavan and touches on the difference of self-acquired property of Karnavan and ancestral property. So till then, nobody dared to talk about property to the Karnavan, and Madhavan questions this Panchumenon, and Intuleka does not in any way appreciate the move of Karnavan to have Surya Namboodiripad for Sambandham. So in either of these two ways, we find both of them who are educated and who are modern, who assume this modern, who is for this modernity. They challenge Panchumenon for choosing Surya Namboodiripad and Madhavan for showing partiality and for not giving education to the younger members of the society. The authority of Karnavan starts shaking, and in the end he submits to the wish of the Anantaravans, Madhavan especially. And in this context, it is relevant to note that many younger members of the Tharawad had filed suits against Karnavans for their partiality. And this alienation of Tharawad, the property distribution, the internal fighting, quarrels were the nature of Tharawads by the end of the 19th century. That was common. Nayars who were educated and employed created a space for themselves and wanted to escape from the restrictive pressure of this joint family system. The economic benefit of employment created disparities among the members of Tharawad, those who had a job and those who had nothing. Because those who were not educated and those who had no job were at the mercy of the Karnaval. Those who were employed did not prefer to share their profits with others who did nothing. And the growing sense of individualism, the aspiration for a nuclear family, provoked a conflict within this matrilineal setup. And so that is another emphasis that Chandu Menon makes here. That is this evolvement of nuclear family setup. And apart from these main characters, there are important characters in the novel who strengthened the development of the theme. Though the focus is on the domestic interior, a large milieu is visible here. For instance, Intuleka's mother, Lakshmi Kuttiyamma, another character. Madhavan's father, Govindan Kutti Menon, Then Karuthedam Keshavan Nambudiri, they are all important characters. The dialogue between Karuthedam and Lakshmi Kuti provide insights to the scientific developments of the period. Keshavan Nambudiri tells his wife about the thread factory and says that the whole product is made by a wheel run by a smoke, and he suspects some foul trick by English which they keep a secret. He thought that some sort of magic is being used there. But she replies that it is the steam which runs the machines and trains. She possesses a keen curiosity to know the new developments, whereas thinks that Keshavan Nambudiri sticks to a superstition and accuses the British of witchcraft. Lakshmi Kutiyamma appreciates the knowledge and confidence of the youngsters who were educated and admits that they have contempt towards the elders because of the reluctance of the old to grasp or learn new things in the proper way. But Govinda Panikar, like Lakshmi Kutiyamma, appreciates the educated youth and enters into a long discussion with his son Madhavan about religion, God, science, human relationships, tradition. So actually, this Madhavan, through these dialogues, Chandu Menon makes it clear what is relevant in this time of transition. And towards the end of the novel, it takes a new turn with the travel of Madhavan to a metropolitan city like Madras, Calcutta, and Bombay. And all these three cities have their own significance. Madras is indicated as the center of education, nearest to Malabar, and he wants to take Chinnan to Madras. Madhavan, Govindan Kuti, and Chinnan later on are all educated there. All the three cities have universities. Bombay, being a harbour city, had its own prominence. Calcutta was one of the first industrial centres. Until 1911 was the capital of British Empire. This points out the growth of certain urban centres being developed by the British in different areas. The author has full appreciation and praise for the colonial culture, education, colonial modernity, and the concept of employment which provide an individuality and self-respect. Kuti Krishna Menon, who was the Diwan Peshwa with a salary of rupees 800, Madhavan, who was educated and a favorite of his English associates, Indulekha, who stands out as a role model due to her education, are all examples who retain the best of tradition and modernity. So, this tradition and modernity, they go side by side in the novel. This Indulekha, even Madhavan, they don't forego their tradition, customs, and beliefs, but they are ready to accept this modernity that comes on their way. And this growth was imperative when an alternative was necessary. And when caste status was being questioned, another status based on education and employment was becoming visible. And that was the society in transition. And Chandu Menon admits that this book was written in Malayalam in the way he spoke at home and to cater and to entertain the ordinary men, and will help to develop their knowledge, to give them insight and to make them understand that this modernity, colonial modernity, this Western education is important and that will change their life. The author, being a part of this judicial setup, was well aware of the developments all over the states in India, and especially in 1885, Indian National Congress was formed, though it remained a forum of a few educated Indians with polite aspirations initially. But it had a nationalist perspective, and social reforms was integral to the development of a nation in totality. And he tries to fix the Nair community, which should march with the passage of time and progress. So he wanted to reform this Nair community. The nationalism of the period admired English and colonial culture as superior to traditional culture and language. This reflected even in the concept of dress, food, and the way of life. This admiration and social attitude is reflected in the characters that he chose. Nayars, with all their subcaste variations, had willingly accepted English education, prided themselves in working with the English masters or professions like wakils, advocates. This exposure had created new ideas of behavior, dress, food, and above all, a feeling of shame and inferiority to continue uh, this sambandham kind of relationships. This marital relationship acquired a new connotation and meaning, and these temporary marital bonds had to be looked down. Now it was the fascination for English education and colonial culture. They were coming closer to centers of power, but the desire of a section to reasonably adjust to the new order could find contentment through Madhavan and Intuleka. No, they both are the examples. Madhavan dresses up according to the occasion. There are references to ear stud worn by Madhavan and to his long tuffet. Both were traditional cultural symbols of Nayar's community, but during travel he wears a pants and other English type of dresses, carries pistols, and Intulega also wears big ear studs, wear the typical dress of Nayars like munta and covers a upper part of the body with a shawl. And the Sinai women had no habit of covering, initially, they never had that habit. The changing concept of modesty can be noted here. In the novel, references are made about the integration of the country through railways, and it is noted that even a travel to Europe was possible then. Chandumenon's canvas does not confine to Malabar or Malayalam speaking regions alone, but he takes the readers from Enaya Tarawad of Malabar to urban centers like Madras, Bombay, and Calcutta, and even Europe was not distant according to him. This was projected while the traditional belief restricted a Nayar of Malabar crossing Korapura river near Kozhikode. Madhavan goes on a tour in India, and Govindan Kuttimenon tells Intulega that they could go to England and that ships are available. And the last part of the novel, almost the 18th chapter, it reveals the conflict of tradition and modernity. Madhavan's father, Govinda Panikar, raises the argument. Though English education has brought benefits of knowledge, there are disadvantages like bold assertion, rejection of old values like affection, loyalty, obedience to the Karnavan, etc. English education has to a great extent made the young atheist. This leads to a lively discussion between Madhavan, his father, and his cousin Govindan Kuttimenon. The topics which enter here are God, religion, science, scientists like Darwin, Charles Bradlaugh, Wallace, Spencer, Huxley, etc. Though this chapter has no direct link with the social theme of the novel, it fits in and is an enlightening part to realize the intellectual growth of the educated people of that period. Western culture, growth of science are appreciated. All these are, it's the opinion of the author himself, and he wants to convey this to the readers, the society of his time. It was a period of growing admiration of colonial culture. The preparation of one's community to reap the benefits of this culture is all along stressed. Indian National Congress in 1885, and though this novel was published in 1889, there are sufficient references to Congress as well. The author displays a real grasp of the functioning of the Congress. Madhavan says, there is no Sabha as dignified as Congress so far. The appreciation of the colonial rule is reflected in Madhavan's words when he says that India has benefited and progressed by British government. The novel ends with the marriage of Indulekha and Madhavan's entry to civil service, and the couple shifts to Madras along with his parents. The shift to a nuclear family setup from the huge Tharawat setup is implied here.